I don't care about love, just need your touch. Want you to be my vice, 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 vice. I'm all about your vibe.
Hey guys, it's your girl Marie, the Automation Junkie, and this video is going to be dedicated to integrating tools with SuiteDash. So I have integrated different tools, just having them embedded inside of SuiteDash, but I've never used Airtable, and I started to use Airtable a lot heavier in different ways now because I use it for our social media management. I'll talk about that in another video and how I do it. However, this specific video is for a car service who has stock lists that they need to just be able to present inside of their SuiteDash account, and I have done all of that inside of Airtable and intertwining it over to a Porter page. So if you guys are interested to ask any questions about any other services that I have, feel free to, but this one is going to be focused on this, so enjoy. Okay, so this one is a bit different. If you guys have saw my other video of me doing portal pages and then transitioning them over to forms, this is a different company. And so I'm going to show you a similar way that I'm going to do this, but this is going to be based on a car service. So what they do is they have a verification process, a review process, and then they have a decision process that happens. So I've already created the review process, and now that I am creating step 1, step 2, they only have 3 processes. So as you can see, the colors are different, and also the style of this is going to be different because I'm going to have an embed that's going to happen in a while. I'm going to take you guys through the real-time process of me setting this up, and I'll cut it off at a time where it's not too long. For this one, I'm actually doing it a little bit different in terms of how I'm just doing all of the things. The reason why I'm doing it a little bit different is because this client is a different type of company, and so I'm being a little less anal, but also still very anal about how I do the wording conventions or the naming conventions, everything. So for the most part, this is a project that I'm working on top of somebody else's work. So a lot of the stuff is already created. What I'm doing is trying to just make sure that I am doing my work as clean as possible because I'll be working with this client long term. And if you haven't checked them out, go ahead and check them out. They're in the UK. So I am international, baby, if you didn't know that. So I'm going to start with the approved process. The approved decision, no, actually that's the one that's going to be a little bit more intricate. So I'm going to do the more information process. More information is going to just literally ask them for more information. And I'm going to actually insert a space because it's not a decision. It's more so like a pause from where they need to go. So I'm going to insert a space here. I'm actually going to do this a little differently to save time. I'm going to call this 2, and then this is a review. And then I'm going to say more information. I'm just going to take the other part of it out and just say more information. I'll probably put because it's still a step 2, but it's like, you got another thing to do. So I'm going to say pause, or I'm just going to call it more information. I think it's clean enough to just say more information so people can understand that it's right before decision, but you're almost there. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to literally delete this, and I'm going to also create a custom field do there's going to be a custom field that needs to go here. Again, my process is not like always straightforward. I tend to I do things backwards sometimes. So on the form itself, which will be used as a staff form, I am going to go ahead and add the custom field here, and it's going to say info needed, and I'm going to leave that as the form field, and then I'm going to say please provide or the following information is required to move forward. This is going to be a box that the staff will be filling out, so I'm going to do what you see is what you get field, because I always love those. You can literally insert anything. And so I'm going to press add. And so now the field is created. Now to activate anything in the system, you have to hit save, and then you have to just make sure you refresh whatever page that you want it to have relevance on. So I'm going to hit save there, hit save here, and then I'm going to refresh so that I can pull that custom field. Okay, refreshing. All right, and then from me refreshing, what I'm doing now is going to make sure that I have the field that I need by simply going into this text box and going to delete this, and I'm going to actually add the field information. So I don't really want anything else to be added. This would be like, I'm going to add the question here. So please provide the following information to move forward in the decision. Move forward, right? I'm just going to say the following information, move forward. I'm going to use the same arrows because I've been using the arrows throughout this process. So I'll use this arrow. I'm on my PC, so the arrow is different. I'm going to use the arrow, but I got to grab it from the other page, so it could be a little bit easier. And what I'm going to do here is just make this bigger so that it is, I think a little bit bigger will be better. And I think making this bold would be good. And I'm going to hit save. But I also need to go grab the arrow that looks like this. So I'm going to also hit save here. And I'm going to do a quick review. Oh, no, actually, it's on the verification page. Not too fast. I'm not too fast. Okay. I'm going to grab it quickly. So you guys are seeing real time how I go ahead with the process of just like updating a client's portal. And I take a little time to get used to certain processes because of the fact that sometimes I literally always have to just test it. And so I track time for everything through ClickUp. And so right now my tracker is running. So I'm making sure that in real time, I'm actually performing the things that I need to perform. So I want to grab this arrow here because it's the one that I'm using. And then I'm going to go back to more information. And edit this field. Oops, not this one. It's this one. Bam. Okay. So I still want to make this a little bit bigger. I think it's not big enough. And no, I think that's too huge. Let's see. No, 30 is going to be too huge. 28 should be good. Okay. I'm also going to add a space because I think that there should be a separator that happens in there. And I think for the most part, that should be good. So what happens here now, and I always like to test things, but before I test it, I'm actually going to complete the form because this is the important part. So their form is, again, previously made by someone else. So this is not my work, but I like to clean things up a little bit to help streamline the process as I'm going through processes. This is what the form currently looks like. Again, you already know if you knew my videos, I like to hide titles, hide required, and just make it a little bit cleaner. So it looks like this. And from there, what happens normally is I go through the process of making sure that the fields and stuff are just really clean. So I'm going to leave the screen open, but I'm going to go back to the form itself. And I'm going to edit this to see what it says. So it says staff member name. So I'm going to go ahead and... All right, so it is fine. I think for the most part, this says what it needs to say. So it says the staff name, and I guess that's more so for them. So who's making the decision? The customer full name is also for them, but I don't... If you're doing a staff submit form, you really don't need this field because this field is really going to be for you and not them. But if you're doing, I hope that makes sense, because if you're doing a staff submit form, you are submitting it on their behalf in their account. So I'm going to clean this up because I feel like this is not needed. However, if they do need it, then for the most part, I will put it back. And then you have the confirmation. So I confirm the approval of, okay, so I'm going to change this because what they're going to do now is really going to be a choice block that needs to happen. And so honestly, I don't think this is going to, I think this is an update form. Yeah, so I actually need to make a kickoff form, because the kickoff form is going to be what I actually need. So I'm going to go back here and go back to forms. And again, I know my screens are probably a little bit confusing, but this is literally me going through the process of seeing someone else's work and trying to clean up around it. I'm going to create a kickoff form. The reason why I'm creating a kickoff form is because I do need the choice block. And the choice block is what's going to trigger on the behalf of that client the information that I need to do. So I'm going to say staff decision form, right? So all of this information doesn't really matter to me because this is all defaulted. So it's going to, when it's a staff submit, it kind of goes away anyway. Then you have the add field that I want to add. It's going to still be the field that they had over here. So I'm going to get, well, how best should I do this? Let me show you guys. So currently right now has a staff name, which I think they still want to know who approved the decision. So I'll go ahead and add that back. And then they had on here the customer full name, which I don't need, but they had the confirmation of the name or that they paid. So I'm gonna add that field back, but I don't know what that field was approved by. Is it that field? Nope. Okay. So let me go find out the fields. Okay, so it was the confirm field that I was missing. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the confirm field here, which is going to be that field that they did for confirming, basically. And I guess for the most part, the reason why I didn't need this field is because I was going to do a choice block. So I almost forgot that I wanted to do a choice block, and I'm going to just do the confirming here. And this will confirm that they're approved. And I'm going to remove this one. Now, what I want to happen is that if they are approved, the person will turn into a client, even if they aren't. The compliant or coordinator, this is if they're unknown, you always have to set this. I will set them to approved decision, and then down here, and then I also have to do the same thing down here. I'm going to notify them as well. I'm going to change them from a prospect to approved. If they're a lead, they're going to a client. And then no changes for this, but I'm going to change this to this. And then for the most part, that's fine. I'm going to also send them an email, and that's, I think, about it. I think he sent them an email. Yeah, even on this current one now, the triggers that they have is that they get an email and SMS. So I think it makes sense to do it this way, but I need an automation to do the SMS, which I'm going to have to pull this email really quick. Okay. And I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to just save this. And I'm going to pause for a second so that I can make sure I get plot twist. Okay, so I decided to actually create two of the duplicate the actual approval one, because I realized that the kickoff form would have been a great idea, but it doesn't really work for what I need it to work for right now. You guys are going to kind of understand in a bit, because each of these decisions are going to have different automations that need to trigger, and the kickoff form doesn't allow me to do the automations that I need. And I knew that, but then I didn't think it through because I needed to understand the end result from the client. So I have done that. Let me actually put this on D&D really quick. Okay, so what I have done is, oops, I just put something. What I did was I went ahead and I duplicated the approval one. Again, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because I do want it to still just look clean. So that is clean. The confirmation, the customer name is going to still be the customer name. Really, again, I don't think that's a field that's needed, but I'm going to test it to see if it makes sense. This is the confirmation, and I'm going to make these required fields so that it'll be easier. And then this one was pretty simple because if this is not going to be here, because this is just going to be if they approve the person. So if they confirm, what's going to happen is the client will be moved from that circle. So your approve has been approved. What's going to happen for the approvals, they're also going to get a text message to say first name, and I'm going to just put here the first sentence that they have. Of course, it's not going to come out in bold and text, but you get the gist. And I'm going to say, please log into the portal for next steps, or to view the cars, right? So what will happen here to discuss, I guess, to view the vehicles. I'm gonna put vehicles because that's what he has here. All right. So if a person does not approve, or this fails, it's going to go to Mike. And then I'm going to remove them from the circle of the review, and I'm going to put them in the circle for approved. I can never find this when I need it, so I always have to search for it. So I'm going to put them in the approved decision circle, and that's going to be that portal page is going to be there. Okay. So that's done. And then now what will happen on the approved circle, I'll show you guys in a second, but I'm going to do the other circle really quick. And it's going to be info, one that says info. Oh my gosh, I think I clicked something else. All right, so I'm waiting for it to load so I can change the circle I need. The form that I need. This one. So this one is going to be for more information. So this more information form is going to... Okay, so for this one, what we're going to do is same things. I'm going to make this to be required. Also make this to have the customer name. And I am going to remove that one and say more information is needed. This is going to be that field that they have to fill in. And then I will update this again to now say something similar to what they have. And because a lot of people don't really look at things and said it says action required, I would put action required. Your needs, I'm going to say more information is needed for your, and I'm gonna kind of keep the same format. I like to do it short and sweet, but sometimes you gotta just do what you could do. Or I'm gonna say information is needed All right, and then your kickoff application is pending and requires more information. And then I can even add the information here for the most part. But I'm going to actually, I think the client wants me to sign in, so please sign into the portal to complete, to upload the next steps, or upload the information needed, or provide the information. Right. So what sometimes I think people fail to do is remember that people don't always have the link on hand. So I want to just make sure that the link is on hand for them. Okay, so I definitely was able to kind of fast forward this process a bit. So I wanted to make sure I showed you guys the end result. So I was able to grab the information for the client's portal. I was also able to update the information here, and I also did the decision reason in a form. So all of that information has been kind of scattered through my videos, but if you guys want kind of detailed information, you can always ask me a question, because I do actually walk through these portals with you guys if you needed to, and I do strategy sessions if you wanted to do strategy sessions for SuiteDash specifically. So what I'm going to show you now are the end results, because I am actually done with the entire process. So let's wait for SuiteDash to do the things that it needs to do. And oh, I didn't actually do anything, so I'm just like, why am I sitting here? All right, so I'm going to show you guys what I actually created. So just like a recap, so everything is making sense to you. I created originally these two stages. So it was going to be the verification, then they were going to be in the review. Then from the review, they have the more information. From more information, if they, if they're in the review, if they needed more information, then the more information would be a screen that shows them basically in a subsection that says more information. So what that looks like is this. So it says subsection, more information, and then down below here is going to be a custom field that actually gives them the information that they need to do all the things. The last thing I'm going to actually do here is add a form that's going to be where they upload or add text for that more information. So that's like the last thing I'm going to do, which I'm probably not going to do in this video. And then also you have the declined set here, and then you have the approved. So the approved is my baby. That's the one that I really want to show you, but I'm going to show it from the aspect of my editing page, because I want to show you the integration with Airtable that was made, because of course the title of this video already hinted it. So again, if they're denied, it'll tell them, hey, you were denied because of this. So that's the decision there. And then the approved shows them a portal. Okay, and I don't want to show you too much information because this is clearly not to be shared. But this is a portal inside of Airtable that I created. And so this is a password protected portal. And if they were interested in something, they would click on here, which takes them over to another form. Of course, right now it's not going to work when I want it to, but it takes them to an interest form. So the interest form, it would be what they would fill out based on the portal needs. And as you guys kind of briefly saw, as I had access to the portal already, it kind of gave them that. But this is the password to the portal. So they would put the password in, and if they were interested in a vehicle, they would click this. So the idea is to utilize because SuiteDash doesn't have the capabilities of actually creating something like a portal where they can see like the stock inventory. We actually created that outside of SuiteDash, and then I imported. I mean, I like to think that I'm a genius, but you know, that is what that is. So the car interest here is just a 2-question form, and it literally just asks them to put their the plate that they are interested in and to clearly state their interests. So whatever that is for them, and then it will actually send a email to the person, and I'm gonna actually also send it so that it can send an email to them. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna say it goes there. And I think it was going to the admin as well. So let's just make it go to the admin. All right, so I think it goes to the user and Mike, who's the admin. All right, and then also I wanted to just use the same title that's here. Okay. And then I'm going to send this to the target instead. But I'm not going to save this. I'm going to delete those. Okay, it doesn't want to do what I want it to do right now. But I will do that later. I think it's just because I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be reading and doing. All right, so anyway, that's pretty much it. I set up the circles as well. So as you can see on the back end, this is how it looks. It doesn't show the actual preview of the embed. It does show it on the live version though, but this is what it is. I'm really excited for the client to see it. So I'm actually gonna do a video for them right now. And the other thing I created is because they needed to do staff submits for each of the type of decision, I created staff submits separately. I was gonna do it so where it's combined, but I think just having it separated would make more sense just because I need them to trigger different SMS features and things like that. So if they were to submit this one, it would take them to the staff submit, and you would see that they get to select a person, and then from them selecting a person, they can put their entire name and the reason why they're not moving forward. Like, that's just that. And that's just what it is. I'm really excited to launch this for this client. Again, I work alongside of him. And he just sends me projects and I just work with him on it. And the first thing I did with him is revamped his entire SuiteDash because it did not look like this before. It was very gray and just not showcasing his business the way I think it should. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this and stay tuned for more videos.
I'm all about your vibe.